off the cuff.
All right, hey, what's going on?
Hello, Facebook.
These are your friends. It's Pastor Doug and Shay Taylor. Hope you guys are having a great evening, man. We're excited about what we're going to share with you today. And so, you know, hey, in line with this whole message on what the heck is going on, this is what we've been saying. We've had some technical difficulties. So it's making it have to sit up close to me. Wi-Fi went crazy. Devices went crazy. This is why you don't put your trust in iPhones. You trust in the Lord and Android, because Droid does. So hope you guys are tuning in, man. We've been talking about this for a while, and we really know what we have to share tonight. It's going to be a blessing with you.
Make sure
It's going to be a blessing to you. Share this video. Log on in and let people know that the Taylor Made Marriage Ministry is on. Looks like some of you guys are coming on already. Hey, Miss Reed. Hey, Miss Reed.
Hey, Marquita.
So make sure you share this with your friends. Is this on the Taylor Made? It should be on Taylor Made. Should be on Taylor Made.
That's why I was gonna check to
She's
make
logging
sure.
in now, and I'm logging in too.
Yep,
It's on Taylor Made.
it's on Taylor Made.
All right. Well, looks like you guys are coming on, and give you guys a chance to log on and tell somebody. Hope you guys share this video, man, because tonight's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be really, really, really cool. Yeah, we are on and we are sharing, and got a couple of you guys have logged in. And
Hey, be honest.
all right, hope you guys can hear us well. Hope you guys can hear us. Let us know you can hear us. Let us know it's cool, and you logged
They
on.
probably can hear me. I talk loud.
She talks loud, so you guys can hear her. So, yeah.
Well, I can take this off because it's making my shirt.
Well, don't do that.
What? I'm saying I can take this little this microphone off.
Well, don't do that, because then you're going to let people know that we had technical difficulties. Just
Oh, well, it's got my shirt weird. Okay.
see.
My shirt is weird. I ain't want my shirt. Okay, then be hanging all off, and then people be inboxing me because my shoulder all showing. See? Hey, y'all.
You see? All right, so hey, thank you guys for sharing. Everybody share the video, really excited for what we're going to talk to you guys about tonight, man. And it's really, really, really powerful stuff. And so thank y'all for tuning in. Listen, one of the things that we know, we are called to help marriages build. All right, you can go ahead and take it off.
Yeah, okay. Oh, all right. What to do with it? Okay. Okay, I'm off the camera for a second. Okay. All right, I'm back. There we go. There we go. All right, I'm ready. That give everybody time to get on. Hey, Phaedrian.
You know, they say on television, you
Minister
never work
Val.
with children, never work with animals, and you never work with sedated wives.
Now I want my clothes hanging.
All right, so, hey, check this out, and thank you guys for tuning in. Hey, Mr. Mashburn, what's going on? Hey, make sure your wife is watching, because I see her Facebook post. She is a trip. And I know they've heard you always say, what the heck is going on? She is a trip. But yeah, check this out. So here we go. Listen, what we're going to talk about tonight is we want to talk about this topic of really what the heck is going on. You know, so.
I'm listening. I'm ready.
I quit. I quit, man. All right, so check this out. So we're talking about this whole dynamic of really what the heck is happening. We went through a stint, man, and we had to I really had to minister and talk to several couples because there was so many things going on, and people was just like, what the heck is this? I mean, out the clear blue, challenges and crazy stuff and just aggravation. It was like, what the heck is really happening? And so we really had to settle in and really pray about this and see, okay, God, because it's part of our anointing, part of our ministry to help build families. And, you know, we do it, Rebirth. We build faith family, and finances. And so we had to really, really pray and say, God, what the heck is going on with some of these marriages, man? We hear about marriages that couples that have been married for years. All of a sudden, we busting up, or I'm leaving, or I got these other relationships, and I just don't want to do this no more. I'm like, what the heck is really going on, man? It's crazy. And so, as we're praying, I'm literally praying about this lesson, First Lady and I were talking about what would be the next seminar, and she really said it. She said, we just need to talk to some couples about what's going on, what really is happening. And as we're praying about it, I literally see, check this out, I see the image of a sinkhole. I see right in front of me the vision of a sinkhole, and weren't able to show. We had some technical difficulties. Our Wi-Fi is saying what the heck is going on. But you know the way we do this, we there's an image of a sinkhole, and if you ever seen a sinkhole, it is literally just that. It is an open, gaping hole in streets, in highways, in grounds, and the Lord said this is what's happening in some marriages, that there are sinkholes, that these unexpected challenges, tensions, and breakdowns across these marriages, and the frustration comes in is, where did this come from? Because you look and see you walking down the street, and all of a sudden, where it used to be freeway, there's nothing. There's a hole. You're standing and you're looking down down into the pit of nothing.
Isn't that weird though? Like
It's
a
crazy.
sinkhole you looking. I wish you could have showed the picture, because that's just weird. I mean, it's like this big hole, and all this stuff going on up under this hole. And like a day before, or 20 minutes before that, or whenever before it fell, it was just
Okay, I'm going off. You know, I'm a techie guy, so it's really hurting me to do this. But you need to see this. This is what a sinkhole is. This is what a sinkhole is. And the Lord said, this is what's happening in some marriages, that all along the path, there's just a something, the bottom drops out.
Yeah, that's what's
now,
crazy.
Again, this is, we try to be tech savvy, and I hate to have to show you that our Wi-Fi started going crazy. Ain't no problem. Because what I want you to get this word that we're sharing, that the Lord said that what's happening is that there are sinkholes, and the sinkhole is in essence, it's any hole in the ground that's caused by erosion and the drainage of water. This is what happens. A sinkhole can be large enough for cars to fall through, or small enough, just for animals or people to pass through. But what happens is a sinkhole is the result of this natural process. What happens with a sinkhole is the bedrock, the substrate, what is intended to hold up the concrete, hold up the road, hold up the ground. As rain comes in, the water begins to erode at the substrate. Right. Limestone or whatever is supporting this structure, the water begins to erode it away. And as it erodes, there's not enough structure to hold it up. And after this prolonged period of eroding, whittling down, washing away the structure, before long, the marriage, the road, the trees, the cars, there's nothing to hold them in. They collapse.
Show that picture again, for real. Because look at that. Up under that is a mess.
Well, again, I want you to see it.
I want you to really see that sinkhole, because if you look at that sinkhole and you look up under there, that is a mess. That is just a pile of, dirt and water, and it's a mess up under that sinkhole. So all that mess was up under there from the beginning.
Exactly. And so what's happening is, over this period of time, this is really what happens. As drainage happens, check this out. As the rains begin to flow, what happens is what is supposed to support the marriage, the road, washes away. Right. However, things that are in other locations begin to wash into this structure. This is what happens when marriages erode. The structure of what supports us begins to wash away, and many times other stuff starts coming in. Right. So now we're not even standing on what we're supposed to be standing on. The marriage is no longer built on what it was supposed to be built on. Now it's trying to stand on stuff that's not strong enough to hold us. Right. And really what happens is, outside people come in, hobbies come in, jobs come in, many distractions come in. And so what has to happen is you have to understand that really, what am I supporting my marriage on? Really, here it is. Am I supporting my marriage on just sex? Or is my marriage still supported on the commitment and the love we have for each other? Right. Is my marriage built on what I can do for you, what you can do for me? Or is it really built on who we are and what we are called to do together? Because again, what happens sometimes is the foundation erodes, and we're standing on stuff that can't support us. So now we got to go shopping again. And y'all know there's nothing wrong with shopping, but shopping is not enough to support a marriage. Shopping adds to. It's something that,
Right.
my wife loves shopping. We enjoy doing that together, but it has to be more than just sex. It has to be more than shopping. It has to be more than children. It has to be a commitment and a foundation that we've built our marriage on. That no, it's us. It's us against the world, and this is the foundation of what holds us. All this other stuff is extra.
Right.
You with me?
That's good. So you want to talk about the evidence of sinkholes?
Let's talk about how you can tell whether or not there may be a sinkhole in your marriage, a sinkhole in your relationship. Because I'm telling you, this is what's happening. What happened is life and opposition and busy has begun to erode away at the foundation of our relationships. Come on, let's go.
Well, okay, evidence of sinkholes, the foundation slants, the foundations that slant. You know, when you have a house and that foundation is a little slant, a little rocky, that means we're just off base. Things just aren't right. Things just aren't quite like they used to be. You know, I was thinking about, like, there used to be times when we would kind of, you don't really know what it is. You really don't know what's wrong. Why are you laughing? What you smiling at?
Vincent Campbell just texted me.
Oh, when you really don't know what's wrong. You really don't know what what's going on. Have you ever been there and you just kind of walking around, but it's just something?
Right.
You're just like, I don't really know what it is, but something is just not right. We're just kind of off. Just
Exactly.
kind of off. And then the new small ponds that appear after the rain, things don't resolve as quickly. Because, sometimes, especially early on in marriage, when you're all lovey-dovey and young in marriage and you have an argument, okay, we get together, have sex, make up sex or whatever, and things you kind of like, you good. But after a while, the arguments or the disagreements begin to last a day, begin
Right.
to last 2-3 days.
Right.
Begin, next thing you know, y'all going like weeks and not talking to each other.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. And so when it happens is when water begins to stand, when the water stands and is not washing away, it's because there's a depression in the ground. And so this water should be washing, but it's standing. Why? Because there's a sinkhole underground. That these issues should roll off of us. We should get past them, but we can't get past them. That's a sinkhole. I'm telling you that there's something at work. Listen,
Right.
when evidence of a sinkhole is when there is a rapid appearance of a hole in the ground. Now I studied this out, and this is you find this is a geological instance, but the Bible says that we look at natural things to understand spiritual things.
Right.
So what happens is if there's all of a sudden a hole in the ground, or there's a depression, that means all of a sudden things bother you that didn't bother you before.
Right.
All of a sudden you just can't stand when she's smacking. No shade, ain't no shade. Just a little shade. Just a little shade. I almost recorded her like a couple nights ago. I literally almost recorded her because it's she was beatbox.
That means I'm enjoying my food. That means I'm enjoying my food.
No, listen. So this is what happens. So, if there's unprecedented complaints, there's stuff that used to not bother you, just get under your skin.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not your spouse, it's a sinkhole. It's something that you got to attack. If there are dips and depressions that appear in the yard, so no longer is the yard graded or
Right,
even,
right.
but now it's dips and ebbs and flows, which means emotionally you're going up and down, up and down. Up and down. Today, or morning you're good, but then all of a sudden by evening I just don't like it. I just don't want to be around you. You got to understand, this is not your spouse. It's a sinkhole. It is a sinkhole. It's something that is eroding the marriage. But the wonderful thing about addressing sinkholes, I'm getting ahead of myself, they can be repaired. What we want to do is let you realize what's happening is not just, I need to get out of this. There's some work that needs to be done to repair the foundation of your marriage.
Well, look, let me say this about the emotional ups and downs, because, especially as, we're getting older in age, and a lot of our friends and people that we know, they're getting older in age. And, the midlife crisis thing is real.
Absolutely.
It is so very real. And at this age, a lot of times, you don't know why you're being the way you especially like women, we start at the age 40, 45 as we start reevaluating. We start saying, what I should have done, what I wish I would have done, but I gave up all of this for the kids, or I gave up all of this for the marriage. I was on my way to do these things. You start evaluating, and then you start building up resentment for the people people that are around you, and you got to be on guard for that attack.
Right.
That is a spiritual attack from the pits of hell.
Very good.
You got to be ready for it. I'm telling you, in this season, the enemy is attacking like never before. You've got to be ready. You got to know whenever you start getting these fiery darts and thoughts in your head, that is an attack. That is an attack of the enemy. So be on guard, be sober, be vigilant. Because your adversary, the devil, is roaming around seeking whom he may devour. He is on attack, and he's really attacking marriages.
Absolutely.
He is attacking Christian kingdom marriages like never before.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. This is interesting. I talked to a young man today, and he was sharing with me about some challenges he's having and some things that's going on in his life. I said, well, listen. He's literally talking about how distractions have come into his life like never before. And this is what I shared with him. I said, young man, this is what you need to grasp. I said, I just taught last Sunday on the power of distraction and the evidence of distractions. And what I told him is, it doesn't make it any better that you're in a battle, but it should make it better, make you feel better. You're not in a battle by yourself.
Exactly. That
you're not just pinpointed. It's not just that you're off base, but this is an attack on the kingdom of God. And so, if nothing else, realize that you're not in this thing by yourself. Can I say this? That it's not that your marriage is so bad and your marriage is so weird.
Right.
No, you're in the middle of a season, in the middle of an attack against the kingdom.
Right.
And what happens is the kingdom of heaven suffered violence to take by force. So that means you got to realize, wait a minute, that my marriage is not, I'm not going to give up on my marriage. And it's not like we need to quit things. We got to realize there's a sinkhole sinkhole, and we got to attack this thing.
And
That's
both people have to be willing, though.
Absolutely.
Both people have to decide. You have to make a decision. I'm not giving up on my marriage. But both people have to be willing to do that. And I'm telling you, it's not easy. It's a fight. You have to decide. And no matter what you feel, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it seems like, no matter, the whole I can do bad by myself thing. Okay, you can do worse by yourself.
Absolutely.
But my thing is, and this is what I always say, there are so many other things that need to be looked at before you make a selfish decision and just say, I'm done.
Right.
Because there's family involved. There's just so much involved in, you making that decision just because you don't feel happy or you don't feel, because happiness is a choice. You can choose to be happy. You choose what you choose what you focus on. You have to choose what you focus on and stop saying, okay, I'm not happy here. I just don't feel like happy, and stop focusing on other people's stuff.
Absolutely.
And other people's marriages, because that's not your marriage. You got to focus in on what's going on in your marriage.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
hey, do me a favor. If you guys are watching, this is helping anybody. Do us a favor. Share this video. Just do a quick share and don't have to get off. But I know that this is a word that God wants to share with several marriages all across the kingdom to help them get back on track. So watch this thing now. Go ahead.
Okay. So we're still talking about the evidence of sinkholes, dead patches of grass or plants. I love that. No life, just no life in the marriage. I was talking to somebody and we were talking just about relationships in general. And she wasn't necessarily talking about a marriage, but just a, relationship with her mother. And one of the things that I told her, I said, you and your mom have to force yourself to start spending good quality time together. Start enjoying each other and spending time outside of all of the issues that you guys have. And it's the same way with the marriage. And it's going to be weird at first. If you've gone years and you just have no life and you really don't have conversation for each other, it's going to be work to force yourself to get back to that. I remember when we, at first had children, and when we had our children, everything was about the kids. And I remember that first day we went on without the children, we talked about the children on the day. Right. We didn't really have anything for me and you just to talk about. Right. So we had to continue to work on that. So you got to work on that.
Absolutely.
And then sinkholes in the neighborhood. Family is littered by dying marriages. You just see all the dying marriages and stuff all around you. Your aunties didn't have good marriages. Your mama didn't have good marriage. Your dad didn't have good marriage. So there is not a picture. So this is what I love. This is one of the greatest testaments to having a mentor or having a marriage that you can focus on, because when we were going through our greatest struggles in marriage, Apostle Hilliard and Pastor B, we weren't even like, we had never even met them, but we grabbed all their marriage stuff that we still incorporate in our lives today. We grabbed all of that marriage stuff. We took a couple that we wanted to emulate that marriage. We wanted a marriage like that, you know.
Right.
And so we took that couple and we said, hey, this is what the way we want our marriage to look like. We began to sow into that man and woman of God. We began to listen to their words on marriage, and that really strengthened our marriage. We got to get a different focus. We got to start not looking at the dying marriages and looking at the people who say, girl, if I was you. No, if they were you, they wouldn't be doing nothing. You got to make sure that you focus in on the right thing.
You know, here's the other thing that happens too when you look at sinkholes in the neighborhood, look at other dying marriages. This is what you always have to be on guard about. That you don't, how do I want to say this? That you don't impute other people's issues into your relationship.
Right.
Because just because your friends are having these issues, or because one of the marriages in your circle is struggling, you don't have to come back and say, you know, you're doing just like Tom. You're doing the same thing Tom is doing.
Right.
And so we go through the same thing. I'm like, no, that's Tommy and Rebecca. Like, no, you just like Tom and I. No, I mean, no, I'm not. You have to be careful that you don't bring it.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen it happen so many times and say, you know what, you see a marriage is struggling, or see somebody in a marriage who's being, you know, you'll see a couple that bust up, and then you say, you think about leaving me?
Yeah.
What you mean?
Yeah.
You think about leaving me too? What? I mean, we planning dinner.
Yeah.
You know, but I see the way you look at him. You think about leaving me just like she left him. I'm like, no, you got to be careful that you don't, and then you don't put that pressure. And you don't poison your own relationship because of somebody else's problems. That is key. I'm telling you, that is key. And
okay, what about the presence of odd bugs like slugs and centipedes in the home?
When homes have sinkholes, bugs begin to start creeping into the home because the foundation is cracked.
So it's like introduction or entertaining outside influences, you know. And this is the thing I'm gonna tell you, you know. I know the enemy is crafty, and it's just like right at that time, I've heard couples tell me, I've heard like ladies talk to me about, you know, when they're having the biggest struggle in their marriage, right at that time, Tyrone from years ago just happened to hit you up on Facebook. Man, where did Tyrone come from? Tyrone came because that enemy said, here you go. Tyrone, call the Tyrone.
Absolutely.
You know, so you got to be so careful about introducing outside influences. And then not even from that standpoint, but just, I'll even say friends. Because, you know, friends, you know, my grandmother used to always say, misery loves company. It's mighty funny. People always had the best advice to tell you, leave your husband. And girl, if I was you, I wouldn't do. And they don't even have a husband or even have a boyfriend, but they regularly telling you what you need to. Don't be listening to that stuff.
Absolutely. So what's the thing now? So let's talk about it. I think you guys are getting this is how you evaluate whether or not there may be sinkholes in my marriage. And again, it's not, listen, when sinkholes or foundation cracks take place in a home, you don't blame the home.
Right.
And this is what I want to keep getting back to, because what's happening is the home deteriorates because of something outside happening.
Right.
And what's happening is if you don't watch it, you can begin to start turning a side eye and close your heart to your spouse when it's really not your spouse. It is outside circumstances that you have to work to rebuild. And that is so key. That's so key. We start backing off and not doing what we used to do and punishing each other. And really what you do is you add to the destruction of the home when you stop working on the problem and start trying to punish the people. So I just think that this is crazy. This is good. Hope you guys getting blessed. Thank y'all for sharing this. Thank y'all for sharing it. So there are two types of sinkholes. And the first sinkhole is...
You ain't gonna do this one?
No, I was gonna skip that because they didn't know.
But
you just told me.
No, I was just saying because that's a good one. Because that's a really, really good one. I think at least that one. That's a good one. The earthy odor in the home.
All right. So...
I'm just saying that's a good one. The earthy odor in the home after the rain.
So when homes when there are sinkhole foundation issues in homes after it rains, many times you can smell a odor, a musty smell in the home. And what we said is that's just when you just get funky acting. When you just funky, you just funky for no reason.
No reason.
And again, many times you just funky for little stuff, just for little stuff. That's dinner, dinner ready. I mean, and it's not pleasant. Home is supposed to be pleasant.
It should.
And you have to take authority over this. You have to take responsibility. We have to take responsibility for our part that we're playing.
Right. Because
we don't want to add to we don't want to add to what's happening. So let me move on. So you want to move on?
Yeah, that was good. I just like
sure?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
I like the funky acting.
Do you like to act funky?
No, I'm saying that's a good analogy.
I was just checking. So check this out. There are two basic types of sinkholes. If you guys are getting blessed, just type in, say I'm getting blessed. I'm enjoying this. It's helping me. Chime in on us. And if you got comments or questions, then definitely love those. I always love interacting. So check this out. So there are two types of sinkholes. One is the sinkholes that are created gradually over time, and there's also sinkholes that appear suddenly. So what happens is sinkholes appear. There's some that just over a period of time suddenly begin to sink. The others that just happen instantly, where they appear to be overnight. The issue is, what many people don't realize is whether it shows up instantly or over time, it's still been happening over time.
Right.
It's still been happening over time. So just because you see the evidence right now doesn't mean it just started happening right now. It's something that's been happening over a period of time. Watch this thing that I did not know or I was not willing to address.
Right.
This is so dope. This is so dope. But what happens is, this is what happens. See, the instant sinkholes, the one you wake up in the morning and there's a big hole. Like I wake up in the morning now, I'm getting ready to leave. What do you mean you can? I mean, we were just out to dinner last night.
Right.
And a day later, you say you're getting ready to leave. That's the instant sinkhole, but it didn't happen instantly.
Right.
It has been eroding periodic, gradually over time, progressively. Why? Because the foundation has been eroding, and I never said anything about it.
Right.
Or I said something, but you didn't listen.
Right.
That's big. I've been saying for so long, you're spending too much at the grocery store, but it's being ignored and it's just slowly eroding. You see what I have to deal with tonight? You see what I have to deal with tonight?
I was just trying to see if there was shade.
That ain't no shade, but shade, I'll tell you shade. Okay, I've been telling you for 20-some years, eat with your mouth closed.
That's shade.
That's shade. Hey, I've been telling you all this time. No, it's funny, we say this all the time. Like if I go to bed early, First Lady, I hate clicks on cell phones. As soon as I get a cell phone, first thing they'll turn off the click. Well, she liked to click. And so I may be going to bed and so I doze off.
The click soothes me.
And they keep me awake. And so she's on the phone, and I'm going to doze off, she's on Facebook. And then you may not know this, but like now, if you like a post, put the heart on, now it used to just be like, now it's and so like all night she's liking posts. While I'm asleep, I'll go to sleep now.
You know what I really like is the congratulations one. I really like that one. Because when you say congratulations, go, pooh! That's really cool.
And so, and some nights I'll just reach over and I'll just click a little button. But I'm like, I'm telling you all this time, turn them clicks off. What happens is, those, now we're making fun of it, but those are things like that we've been complaining about or addressing over time that we don't pay attention to.
Right.
And so what happens is we have to train ourselves. If my spouse is stating an issue, I got to wire myself to pay attention, because it's not like this first time. I told you I had a couple. We ministered to a couple, and Lord, she liked to click too.
Yeah, the click is soothing. It's soothing.
We had a couple, and they decided to bust up, and she's like, "Where did this come from?" And he said, "I've been telling you for years I don't like this. I've been telling you for years I don't like this." Well, that's just the way I am, but that's just the thing I don't like. And after a period of time, it is slowly eroded away from the foundation of the relationship. I'm telling you, that's what we got to come up. So now she got to come up with something.
No, I'm not. No, I'm saying, but and here's the thing: I don't want people to think we're saying if your spouse says I don't like this, then that's something you just have to change, because some things just that's who you are. You know what I'm saying? It is who you are. But I think it has to be a sit down and an acknowledgement of it. Like if if you say, okay, you smacking super loud and I can't sleep, then I will either get up and come in the other room, or I will try to close, or I'll be like, because I like to eat in the bed. So, yeah, I mean, so I'm saying,
Just even roll my eyes on
and
camera.
then look, but I'm saying even like with the clicks, okay, I love the clicks, but when I look over and I see that you are going to bed, I will pop the little thing off and not have the clicks on. So what I'm saying, I can click when, if you up, I'm clicking, if you're not, because I do enjoy the clicks. So I'm not saying, and I don't want people to think that everything that I enjoy doing, just because somebody else doesn't like it, it doesn't always have to be changed.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It has to
Absolutely.
be an acknowledgement and a coming
And maybe
together
some
to say,
adjustments.
and some adjustments to say, hey,
Absolutely. Very
this
good.
is, as opposed to doing this, can we do it like this? Or, a sit down conversation, which leads again into making sure you communicate. Because
Absolutely.
communication is key to any marriage.
Absolutely. Gregory John says, how long have we been married? How long have we been married?
Okay. 24 years.
24 years.
19.
24 years. I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I'm making myself, I'm committing myself to remember. So 24 years. I say 24.
Yes. Miss Akia Dickinson, you're a first-time viewer? Well, praise the Lord. If I would let you do the clicks. I would let you click on that to celebrate you being a first-time viewer. If there's any other first-time viewers, go ahead and chime in so we can celebrate all our first-time viewers, and thank y'all for
And
chiming
we'll go
in.
back and look at all the comments, and if we don't get to anybody, and we can we'll answer them later, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. So dig it. There are instant sinkholes and there are progressive sinkholes, and all of it is the result of unaddressed issues. And so what we have to do is go ahead and as these issues arise, go ahead and jump on them. And listen, two things have to happen. When a spouse makes a request or addresses an issue, because I don't want sinkholes, I gotta realize, you know what, I need to pay attention to this.
Right.
And don't that's just how he is, that's how
Right.
she is. No, that's how they are.
Right.
And that's my spouse. I need to start taking note of it because a complaint says that there's an issue. And the other thing is we have to make this commitment. This is heavy, that when concerns or complaints are made, hey, LaShondra Sims, first with that, she's family.
Yeah,
She's
you family, Shan.
She's family.
Chan. Hey, Miss D. Yeah.
Y'all ready? You
Yeah,
ready?
I'm ready. I was just ready
All right,
to
come
comment.
on. So here's the other thing. When issues are when there are issues, address them. Because that's what First Lady said a little earlier, that if you don't address issues, they become
Right.
resentment. If you hold on to them, because this is what happens with the sinkholes, the water either gets trapped or it is washing away. Part of the reason why it becomes they decompose is because they get trapped. The water just settles, which means the water just sits in your
It's in
heart.
your heart, and then it start getting all
Yeah, that's
nasty.
dangerous. That's dangerous. So listen, as these communications come up, don't take it personal. And it's many times hard for us to do, but no, I want to know your issues. I want to know what's bothering you. I want to know what your concerns are, because we want to make adjustments so we don't end up in a hole. Let's go.
And then you got to make sure that that your spouse don't feel a prolonged sense of neglect, because this is the thing. If you constantly ask them something over and over again, if your spouse brings it up, it's something that's weighing them down. Now, I don't think like me eating with my mouth open and that kind of stuff, I don't guess that's weighing past I don't know how to do it.
Girl, I packed my suitcase the other night. The Lord told me.
But I'm just saying, I think like after a certain amount of time, you know how to flow through things and that kind of thing. But if somebody is seriously bringing up something, and you know when that thing is serious, then you don't just, bypass it. You don't just say, well, whatever, that's just how I am. That's just what I'm going to do. You're going to listen with a sense of negotiation.
That's great. You can say that again. Listen
with a sense of negotiation.
Listen with the heart of,
yeah.
we're going to work this thing
Right.
out.
Right.
There's going to be some give and take, but we can both win.
And defense is not the only, but it's not always the best defense, because, a lot of times when our spouse, and this shows to me the heart of where your marriage really is and what you need to work through, because a lot of times I know when couples even come together and they say, hey, we need to talk, immediately I'm already ready to be offended. I'm already ready to be mad. I'm already ready to attack. And that's not a great state that the marriage is in. So, that needs to be worked out. Because you should never, if you come to me and say we need to talk, I'm like, oh my God.
And we do it. And we all do it. We all do
Right.
it.
So we need to make sure that we do that. So never make the goal to win. Make the goal to work together. That was good. Never make the goal to win. Make the goal to work together.
That was good. That was very good. I was reading a comment.
Oh,
You thought I was ignoring you?
yeah, I wanted you to say that's good.
That's good.
That was good.
You know what I'm saying? That's good, baby.
That was good.
I said, baby.
You did.
That's good, baby. Look me in my eyes. That's good,
That was
baby.
good. Now, okay, thank you. I feel better now. Now, how can we work together for both of us to find stability in the matter? For example, housekeeping, recreation, all those kinds of things. How can we work together? How can we work together if I'm constantly coming home and I'm saying, okay, when I get home, I got to wash the clothes, I got to wash the dishes, I got to do this, I got to do that. I'm frustrated, I'm aggravated, I'm tired. I done worked all day like you worked all day. How can we come to a resolution to say, okay, here's what we're going to do. Okay, I'll take this, you take, but it has to be some type of resolution. One partner or spouse should not feel like they're carrying the brunt of everything. And really, most of the time, they're not, because everybody has their thing. You may have one spouse that's working hard and running, because Pastor and I we have super busy lives. Super, super busy lives. My life, I can say I'm always in the office and I'm just always there. Always there. However, he can say, well, I'm always running around doing, I got to go here, I got to go there. So just as much as I'm stuck in the office for hours, he's out trying to do other things for hours. So everybody has their thing where they feel like, okay, I'm just doing so much. But that's where the negotiation comes in. That's where we sit down and we talk. And I think, again, it always boils back down to communication.
Absolutely. Doris asked a question, and hey, thank you guys for sharing again. Appreciate you guys sharing. Appreciate all your comments. Doris asked, if you're mad at one another, how long should you wait to have a conversation or talk about it? That depends on several things. Number one, our negotiation skills, our communication skills, being a high self-monitor. If I'm out of control, it's not the time to talk.
Right.
So the length of time depends upon us, our maturity, and whether or not we're able to have a conversation or just complain. Because one of the things I personally hate complaining. That just bothers me. I hate pessimism. I hate, it's just so bad, because in my mind, whatever it is, there's a solution for it. So I want to hear, okay, this is what's going on. Okay, now let's solve it. If it's just wanting to complain about 45 minutes, then that just, my mind, I have to make myself do that. And so if I'm not in the position that I can start working toward a solution, it may not be the time to talk just yet. I may need to process it first, and then the time also depends upon how long it takes me to realize, is this really a real issue? Because sometimes I could just be in my feelings. Sometimes I could just be like, I'm all over I'm all over burn all this gas. Her example, and she's in the office, and I'm out here in this sun. Well, I have to realize, this is my job. That's her job. And so a lot of the time frame depends upon me, my maturity, the growth of my marriage, the sensitivity of my spouse. Can we really have good conversations?
Right.
So that kind of determined time frame, and then it may be some scheduling issues, because if we're on opposite schedules, this ain't nothing we can do 5 minutes while walking out the door. We may need to sit down and schedule some time. And the other thing that my first lady, now we should do this, and we're doing it again now, scheduling times of specific conversations. Because because we got off track and start seeing evidence of sinkholes ourselves. Oh, wait a minute, no, this ain't how we do things.
Right.
And so we've got to attack this thing. This is being totally transparent. Realize, wait a minute, we off base, house off base. So we've got to attack this thing as opposed to just saying, what the heck? No, what are we going to do? So we started rescheduling. This is date day. Yeah. It's on the calendar. This is going to be business meeting day. Right. So on Thursday we're going to be talking about this. But Wednesday is just have fun. Look each other in the eyes and let's enjoy it. We go to work on Thursday, but on Wednesday we just dating. Right. And so all those things, you have to start. You have to start incorporating into your marriage, and just start saying that determines how long before you can really have a conversation.
Oh, we got a question.
How do you deal with feeling unappreciated, and then you catch them doing wrong it always gets turned around on you. I really would say, and First Lady can address this. Sometimes you really may need to consider getting some kind of marriage guidance.
Right.
Is
That's
what you about to say?
a little deep.
Is that what you about to say?
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah.
It really may need. Sometimes we need an outside mediator,
Right.
to help us navigate through our differences. Now, to say how do you deal with feeling unappreciated? First thing I do is find my own value,
Right.
because I can't count on people to make me feel appreciated.
Exactly.
Because if I have a balance I want paid, I have to. If somebody's not going to pay the full balance and it's on my credit report, to protect my credit, I need to pay the difference.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, if I'm not getting enough from you to make me feel loved or feel appreciated, I got to tell myself I'm pretty doggone good.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because if you don't know your value, and then some people just have a value deficit. They may have some of their own challenges that go through life. Or like First Lady said, sometimes with midlife crisis, you start feeling, regret for things that you didn't do. And parents do it all the time. I gave all this for the kids. They don't appreciate me. Well, you have to go back and realize, why am I doing it?
Right.
And understand that if I'm feeling unappreciated, tell the people, hey, I just need, right now, I need a little more love. I need a little more attention. I want to feel loved, and I want something else from you. So, but also I would really suggest, if it goes, I just feel it's in my heart, you may want to start looking into getting some marital guidance or marital counseling, because sometimes things can be a little deep.
And I would say too, and then I would say, if prior to that though, it's exactly what you said, what I would do, because that's what I try to do. When I don't feel like I'm being valued the way I want to be valued, and I'm talking maybe from, I know this may be different, but like even like in the workplace or something like that. Then I said, because I know one of the things that I told Pastor, I said, well, I don't really, the way our structure is set up, I don't really have an advocate for me, because I'm kind of over everybody else, and I kind of, all the rest of the employees, I actually, I'm their advocate, but I don't really have that. And so when I start feeling like, okay, wait a minute, now I'm being underappreciated, then I'm gonna say, well, I need to advocate for myself. And so I sit down and I write out a letter, and I say, I'll submit it to the board, or I submit it to pastor, and I submit those things to say, hey, this is what I feel like, is not being done. So even in marriage, I feel like you can say, hey, this is where I'm feeling like, I'm not being valued. And sometimes it may not be a personal thing. It could be I'm doing all this stuff and it's just not being, I don't feel appreciated. I don't feel, it could be a thank you. It could be a, wow, you're just doing a great job kind of thing. And those are things that are okay to want. And it's okay to have. And I think, but they still have to be discussions. Kind of like I said here, and I said elsewhere, and you said that's good. You was
really
so
waiting on it?
You
was really waiting on it.
Yeah, I wanted you to say that was good. But I'm just saying,
everybody does appreciate a good attaboy every now and then.
Right. But see, for me, I think sometimes, especially as women, we get in our heads, you should just know. You should just say, but a person is not a mind reader, and I've begun to stop, feeling like, hey, he should just know. If it's not happening, I'm going to ask. And I'm going to say, these are things that make me feel valued. And if at that point your spouse is not, I guess receptive of those things, then that's when you really need to probably get somebody to, mediate or get a third, party perspective on it.
Very good. Hope that answers you guys' question well. Man, we love this. This is good. We go to your next.
Oh, okay. So, what's the unnegotiated differences?
This is really good because
this is me and Pastor. How we grew up plays a major factor in how we relate. There is no right or wrong.
This is really good.
There's no right or wrong. No house is perfect. You determine the principles. And this, I love this. This is good. Determine the principles you want to bring, not the practices.
Say that again.
Determining the principles you want to bring, not the practices.
I don't know who wrote that, but whoever wrote that is a bad dude with a beard, boss. Whoever wrote that.
I could have wrote it. They don't know who
Good job.
wrote it.
Good job. Good job.
But I'm just saying, that's real. I think that's a great point, because I know one of the things that Pastor and I, we are very, you know, we were raised very
Oh
differently.
no, I bet Megan is screenshotting all of this. I bet she probably has about 12 screenshots.
She probably is. Hey, Max.
Hold on, Megan, screenshot this.
But look, so but I, you know, Pastor and I, we grew up totally different in our perspectives, how we think about things. I grew up really super independent, like super independent, because as an only child, you know, like I grew up like just handling like my checking account, all those things. You know, my mom wasn't real like super strict and like, you know, what you doing, I just grew up really different. So when we had children, I was like, they were like, you want to? I'm like, I don't care if you want to. And they'll be like, wait, hold up, where you going? What you doing? So we had to, you know, try to come to some kind of, I guess, medium to figure things out. But go ahead.
So it's like this. This is one example we have. And if you get this, determine the principles you want to bring to the marriage, not the practices. Because sometimes the practices that we've learned are not appropriate.
Right.
So, for example, I have a great young man, a great man in my church, and so his father wanted to teach him responsibility and discipline and structure. So what he did is, he was just a taskmaster. He would just throw clothes on the floor so the guy would have to fold them up. He'd come in and kick the can over, you know, just mean stuff. And he'd leave him out, you know, to himself. He was really hard on him. And so when he had children, he was really hard on his kids. And I'm like, dude, that's just too much. He was like, I'm trying to teach them discipline like I did. I said, no, teach them discipline, but not like you did. Teach them responsibility, but not the way you learned it. Because what we did, talking about, you know, the independent part, how First Lady handled, I want my children to learn to save. Because my concept is, you will not always have me around. Right. And so I want to teach my children to be able to sustain in my absence. Well, I'm the more, how do you want to say that? I'm the tighter parent, she's the looser parent. Right. In certain things. Yeah. So if they want some, you know, say, hey, just go buy it. Well, if they want me, I'm going to say, well, how much money you got? How much money have you saved? And so I'm always telling Miles, okay, you working now, you know, you bought 4 pairs of sneakers, how much money did you save? Well, First Lady, oh, those are some pretty sneakers. So we on two totally different sides of the fence.
And not really though, but I mean, because like I just save for them as opposed to them saving. I just save for them.
And see, I don't want to save for them. Yeah. I want to save for them and they save for themselves. Right. And so what has to happen is, as opposed to, we have to come to this common agreement of, we both want to teach them to save. I may not be able to teach them to save by not helping them at all, but we got to come to, okay, we're both trying to teach them a principle. Right. And so I may have to loosen up my practices to make sure they get this principle. And see, that's what's happening. We both want to do the same thing. She wanted to have money. I want to have money. Well, what she want to do is give her money. I want to save their own money. And so her practice ain't right, my practice ain't right, but the principle is right. Right. So we have to come up with a new principle to protect the practices that we want to instill. Exactly. That's really good. Exactly. Man. I don't know who wrote it. Listen, we're working on a total marriage makeover manual, matrix, whatever you call it. It's going to be so dope. It's going to have all this stuff. Our goals ahead are ready for you guys next year. It's going to be amazing. Teach you how to handle blended families, finances, all this kind of stuff. Huh? So what? What you said?
Nothing. What?
You said something? Y'all heard us say something. So, no, it's going to be really powerful, man. So, you guys be praying and stay tuned because we're going to have that for you guys next year. It's going to be real cool.
This is so good.
We coming in.
Internal changes. Life can change you. Age, physical, mental factors, work-life balance, emotional stressors that may be happening in you that make you more acidic or heavier, that detract from the stability of the ground. When you're different, you make things different. Oh, guys, that is so good because I'm talking about life changes you, because we can look at over the 24 years, you know, things that I used to like or that I was good with or that, you know, made me just float on air. probably aren't the same things that make me float on air. Now, in your 20s, it's like, okay, you give me a good meal, that's so good, but, now I need some life insurance, or I need some stability, or I need some, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that is really good. I'm talking about, and I think that what happens is when we don't change with those changes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like those age changes, like as you get older, even like sexually, how certain things may be. But if you can't change with that and you still expect for your wife or even your husband to do what was done when you were 19, then that's just so unfair.
So we have to be conscious of that again, life does change. And when you're different, you make things different. What that means is we have to discuss the changes that are going on.
Right.
I had a couple, and the guy was just dealing with some sexual issues.
Right.
And he would not share with his spouse, and because he's embarrassed, like, dude, y'all got to work some out. Y'all got to do some other stuff, and then they got pills for that stuff now. But at least be honest so that I can help support you in your challenge. Right. That's really, really powerful. And listen, and watch this thing, and this is big, address your issues. And don't implicate others. Right. What that means is, if I'm going through something, I'm going through something.
Right.
Don't make that. Don't punish your spouse because you're going through a change. This is so big because it's not your fault. I'm going through what I'm going through, and that is and we know it happens. But when we go through challenges, we punish the people closest to us that have nothing to do with us.
Right.
They have nothing to do with it. It's crazy. We can get mad at work and then come home and don't speak to our spouse. We get mad at our children or get mad at work and then treat our spouse a cold shoulder. That is crazy.
Right.
It's a sinkhole.
Right.
It's not my fault that you're going through a challenge. It's not your fault that I'm going through a challenge.
Right.
I gotta talk about right now. I'm feeling a little rundown. I'm feeling unappreciated. It ain't you.
Right.
I need to be honest with me.
Right. That's
and
it.
handle me. And this will be so powerful. If you would share with your spouse, listen, I'm going through something right now. It is not you. I'm just having me a moment. And we're spiritual people. This is what I need you to be praying for me for.
Right.
This what I need you to be a little more. Can you be sensitive and understanding? Because right now, I'm not myself. And I don't know who I am.
Right.
I don't know who I am. I ain't me. I don't know who the heck I am. And I don't know who I'm going to be when I'm done. But if you can just be patient with me while I go through this. And this is what I need your prayer support in. You'll be amazed at what will happen in your marriage to solidify the foundation of your marriage. This big. So watch thing. Let's go ahead and bring singing for a close. Hope you guys got blessed, man. So what as sinkholes is prolonged sense of neglect, things that we address that nobody that we refer to that are not addressed. Unnegotiated differences, how we're different, but we don't put together a new plan. Internal changes, how we change and don't express our change. And then we have some intimacy interrupters. That's like outside influences, social media, children, work. I have to ask myself, what is detracting from the strength of my foundation?
So how is social media?
Social media you trying to set me up or something?
No.
Or you just curious?
No, I was. So in case somebody want to know, because everybody don't see.
Social media.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Everybody don't see social media as a detractor or as a bad thing. So that's what I'm saying. So
part of what happens is social media can become an adulterer. That many times because you can get on social media and you be on there for hours and don't even realize it. Right. Just like television, just like anything. And so what happens is social media in this particular generation has become social media has made people less social. And so there may be times that, I want to talk and you on that phone, or I'm trying to talk to you or trying to relate to you and you may be, I'm not talking about you, but you stuck in that phone or stuck on the telephone, all those things, because I see it happen all the time that I come home, she on that phone for hours, or he on that PlayStation for hours. And we have to, those are intimacy interrupters, things that detract from the strength of our foundation. Got to be sensitive to that.
So listen, how do you address that though? Because like if somebody's on the phone or somebody is on the PlayStation, then you go and you say, hey, I want to talk. Can we sit? Because we do that.
Schedule some time.
We're like, hey, let's, one of our most favorite things to do now is to sit in the recliners.
Listen, if you want Jesus to bless your marriage, get you 2 recliners.
Oh my God, those
You know what
things
we're
just
gonna
suck
do?
you up.
Listen, we had Wi-Fi issues tonight, but next time we're gonna do a tailor-made from the recliner.
No, because I might go to
right.
sleep.
No.
Those recliners just suck you in.
Listen. I'm the technical guru. Next time,
I said sleep. It's gonna make me sleepy.
if you guys want to see a tailor-made webinar from the recliner, just raise your hand. Just raise your hand, and we'll shoot you one from the recliner. I'm telling you. No, and Dog, we put
That's
that
like,
fireplace on.
no, listen, I'm telling y'all, we will be out and like we'll be in different places and we text each other and say, okay, what we gonna do tonight? Okay, let's get in, let's get something to eat, let's do everything we're gonna do, and we're gonna meet at the recliners. That is like one of our most favorite things in the world to do because it's like, yes, fireplace and recliners, you cannot beat that.
And a good blanket.
Ooh, yes, and I got an Alabama blanket too. Roll Tide.
I got a special pink blanket that I don't want to share with folks, and then I get mad when they use my blanket. And
Me
then
too.
Miles use my blanket and take his blanket, take it upstairs, and I get real in my flesh about that. Listen. So check this out. Here's the last one: intimacy interrupters. Watch the thing. If there are things that are interrupting your intimacy, that have wedged in the middle. Miles still gets in our bed and wedge his big old self in the middle of the bed. This is what happens. Social media, work schedules, PlayStation, all this stuff can wedge itself in the middle of your bed, and you got to tell it to get out the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's the last thing we'll talk about is this
Roll
is big.
Tide, Sherry.
This is big. Prolonged wait. Think about it now. If you go back and look at an expressway, highway, the roads have been tested to see how much weight they can sustain without cracking. Sometimes, and listen to me, we put too much weight on our marriages too long.
Right.
You cannot keep sitting this same heavy issue on your marriage all the time. You gotta at some point take a break, come up off that thing. Don't keep beating the same issue over and over, because this is what happens. You gotta give me time to show improvement.
Right.
This is huge.
Right.
If you talk to me today about an issue that you have with me on Monday,
That's good.
don't come back Tuesday talking about what I am. And then Wednesday what I am. Dude, give me a few days to flip this thing, because you're putting too much weight on me. And it may be longer.
Yeah,
but listen, we're having a conversation on first date one time, and I said, really, you give me credit to have changed.
Right.
You really give me credit to have improved, because, okay, granted, I admit I was guilty of that. I was guilty. But after you told me I was guilty of it 4 times, I started changing.
Right.
You got to come off it and give me an opportunity to have amended, to have, is amended?
Yeah.
To have, I don't know.
Changed.
Have changed or gotten better, because if you keep that same weight on me, eventually, and this is big
Eventually
too.
gonna break.
There's nothing worse. See, this is how I was. If I was guilty, you got me. I'm just gonna go on and take it. But there's nothing worse than being accused when you're innocent. Mm-hmm. That's what really tears you down. That I don't even do that no more, and I ain't doing it this time, and you still giving me grief.
Right.
That can really tear up a marriage. You got to do that. Give time to see if the person is bouncing back or making amends, because if not, you put too much weight on their relationship and it'll crumble.
Right. I love that. And so, and it's the thing I was saying, it may take a little bit longer than just a couple of days. But
Absolutely.
you have to be able to look and see progressively if it's been 2 weeks and then that thing got a little bit better. Okay, and then it's been a month and it's getting a little bit better. You have to give it time, because it's, sort of like when you're pregnant, and, when you're pregnant, you start doing that waddle, and you start waddling and you waddling for months and months. And then after I had my children, I realized I was still waddling and I wasn't even pregnant anymore.
Really
I had to change, I had to consciously say, okay, wait a minute, let me change this.
That's
and
good.
so you have to give people opportunities, because they've done it for so long. And some people do things, subconsciously. They don't even realize they're doing it, so they have to try to change it. One of the things that I told, is that in the middle of the thing? Oh, one thing that I told.
Christ, will you please stop telling? Did nobody see it?
No, they don't see it.
Don't do that. Stop it.
Well, it's in my way.
Oh my God.
Okay, but that's off the cuff. We supposed to be off the cuff. Okay, but look, I was gonna say this because I know Pastor and I had a conversation last week we had a conversation last week, and the interesting thing is, it's something that I always tell him. I always say, when I tell you stuff, you just always, you take it personally, and you always, you just like seem like, you try to fix it. I don't want it to be fixed. I just want to talk. And he actually just let me talk, and I was like, okay, I'm good, and that was like, that's years, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he was getting progressively better, but that one particular time, he was just like,
I might do like that video, like that nose dude.
That particular time last week was like the best time that we ever had.
And we have rules.
Yeah.
And see, we have rules, because the rules are,
Can you get that thing? I can't see my face.
Jesus Christ. I'm unsubscribing to Taylor Made Marriage. I cannot work under these conditions. No, but and we have this standing rule that tell me, because I know my issues. Tell me who you want to talk to.
Right.
If you want to talk to your husband, tell me. If you want to talk to the problem solver, tell me. If you want to talk to your pastor, tell me. Because we both wear multiple hats.
Right.
And so, out of fairness to each other, you gotta. I mean, I can be what Paul said. We'll be all things to all people, because we go from being co-workers to husband and wife to boyfriend and girlfriend, and boyfriend and girlfriend different from husband and wife. Boyfriend and girlfriend different from husband and wife.
I see you.
Good job. And so we have to communicate, who do we want to deal with today. Hey, we're going to close, but Fred made a statement. Frederick Strittmeyer said, have a sleepover recliner party. # bring your own recliner. It is not that kind of party, Doc. It's not that kind of party, boss.
Where's Val? Val, make social media is over for your husband.
No, it ain't that kind of webinar, man. We don't film all that.
He said, bring your own recliner. Yes.
Oh, Jesus, what kind of church do you go to? I'm bringing my recliner. No. Hey, this is really fun. I just realized I look like Jodeci with my hair best on.
Ooh, yeah.
Who have?
I like Jodeci. Jodeci was one of my favorite.
Patty Whack.
So silly.
Hey, listen, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hey, hope you guys got blessed. Hey, share your comments. Share this video if you have any topics that you want us to address. We love doing this, and we love ministering to couples. Also, if you dozed off, that means we was bored. Jesus Christ.
Babe, you got to stay woke, because your husband is going on to a whole nother level.
You need to stay woke, because you don't know what that dude is doing after you go to sleep. He trying to... No, listen, so share the video. If you have any questions or comments that you guys want us to address, we would love to do that. Also, we do offer some the opportunity. Sometimes couples need a little bit more than just some of our devotions and videos, and sometimes they need to meet and have some sessions. So you guys can inbox about that. We do offer private sessions for couples. We'd love to meet with you and discuss some things, and hey, really do whatever we can do to help you be the best couple you can be, because we believe every couple can be made better when it's tailor-made.
Right.
Hey, God bless you guys. Love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in, and have an incredible night. And hey, fix the sinkholes and enjoy your marriage.
Amen. See you later, Taylor Made.
Holla.